This is the continuation of Luminous by Sokka's First Fangirl on AO3. This is chapter 14, titled Divine Beast Ruta. There was just one orb left to hit, and the ice came at them faster and faster. Spiked orbs of ice, giant cubes of ice that seemed to just keep getting bigger, shards of ice in rapid succession like arrows, even waves of it. Link hadn't used the Cryonis rune much before now, but he had to admit it was a lifesaver for this fight. Instead of worrying about hitting the attacks away or deflecting them, he could shatter them. "Those Sheikah are something else," Sidon said. "But don't tell Muzu I said that." "Why?" Link asked, baffled. Sidon didn't get a chance to respond as another shower of ice shards rained down on them. Sidon swam faster, dodging the attacks while Link shattered them. Just like that, they were at the last waterfall. Link soared upwards, took aim, and it happened again. Time slowed. Something glowed on his hand, shining even through his gloves. The Triforce of Courage, Impa called it. Link's senses sharpened, his eyesight, his hearing. His breathing came calm and steady. It felt right, all of it. This was what he was meant to do. Faintly, as if from very far away, he heard a voice. "My chosen." That wasn't Zelda, but she sounded familiar all the same. Link took aim at the orb and fired. The arrow flew at normal speed from his bow, even as his surroundings remained slowed down. He heard Sidon cry out, even though that startled shout sounded slow and garbled. Link let himself fall as the arrow hit the orb and time returned to normal. He landed in the water with a splash, and, in seconds, Sidon was at his side and ushering Link onto his back again. Ruta bellowed, lowering herself with jerky, awkward movements. The fountain of water spewing from her trunk slowed, weakened, turned to a trickle, stopped. "What was that?" Sidon gasped. "Impa called it the Triforce of Courage," Link said. "I'm not sure how it works. I didn't even mean to do that." "Well," Sidon said, still looking stunned, "it will certainly come in handy. Now, where's the door?" They swam around to Ruta's other side, and Link pointed. "There," he said. He could see the door just ahead. It was shut, but he could see a terminal, much like the ones on the Sheikah Towers. "Promise me you'll be careful," Sidon said as he swam. "I will," Link promised yet again. When they were close enough, Link jumped from Sidon's back, grabbed the edge of the platform, and hauled himself up. Sidon smiled, though he was plainly worried. "Show the enemy no fear," he said. "I'll see you at home." One little word with so much importance. Home. "See you at home," Link agreed. Sidon smiled at him. Hesitantly, he began to swim away, constantly glancing back. Link saluted him, and Sidon's smile widened, more genuine now. When he was near the edge of the reservoir, Link turned to the terminal and held the Sheikah slate against it. It flashed blue, and the door slid open. A blue circle, a travel point, appeared at Link's feet. No time like the present, Link thought, and stepped inside. He was prepared for monsters. He was prepared for traps and horrors. What he wasn't prepared for was a girl's voice echoing throughout Ruta. A voice he knew. A quiet, gentle voice that brought tears to his eyes. "You're here," she said, voice thick with relief. "Oh, my heart, you're alive. Words cannot express how happy I am to see this day has finally arrived." Link froze in place. Shivering, he looked around, but there was no one there. But that voice, there was no mistaking it. "Mipha?" he whispered. She was here. How? Oh, goddesses, was she alive? Had she been trapped here all this time? He needed to find her. He needed to get her out of here, and... A blue glow slowly appeared before him, a hazy shape, the idea of a person, Azora. Just like that, his hopes were dashed and his heart broke all over again. Mipha was trapped, yes, but she wasn't alive. "Hello, Link," she said, warm and happy, like she wasn't dead. Like this wasn't the worst possible outcome. "Mipha, His voice broke, disappeared. The tears escaped before he could stop them, and that vague, blurred shape, this shade of Mipha, brushed against his cheek. "I barely remember," he sighed frantically, desperate for her to understand. "I lost my memories. I was dead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Link," Mipha cried. "Please, love. Calm down. It's all right. Deep breaths now." "It's not all right. You're dead. You shouldn't be dead. I can't bring you back." "Oh, Link. I've had 100 years to come to terms with my death. You've only had a few weeks. It will get better." He couldn't see how that was possible. Few as his memories were, his emotions remained intense. The memories were gone. The feelings remained, and it hurt. "I miss you," he signed miserably. The ghostly after-image of her hands cupped his face. It was only a faint sensation, gentle as the flap of a butterfly's wings, soft as a feather. He couldn't see her features, just her outline, shining blue, flickering with flames. "I've missed you so, my heart," she whispered, "but we must not linger here. Now that you've opened the door and activated the travel gate, the Waterblight will be aware. It will begin to hunt, and it must not find you." "The what?" Link asked. Mipha's answer was simple and awful. "The beast that killed me." She led him silently down a dim hallway into a wide chamber. On either side of the floor were deep pools of water. Another open doorway led down into a larger chamber, with the main control unit inside. "Wait there," Mipha urged, ushering him towards a gloomy corner. She approached the control room, peering cautiously inside. "It is not here," she announced. "Come forward, love." Behind a set of bars was a guidance stone, much like Purra's. "You will need a map," Mipha said. "The guidance stone has the information you need." A quick use of cryness lifted the bars. While Link used the guidance stone, Mipha stood guard, on watch for this Waterblight. It killed her. Link was going to rip it to shreds. The map of Ruta was very different from his map of Hyrule. There were 5 glowing points within Ruta, as well as instructions for moving her trunk and turning the water on. The map itself was not flat. It was more like a model of Ruta, and it turned when Link tilted the slate. "Good," Mipha said, satisfied. "Let's begin. You will need to activate the terminals to take back control of Ruta." The first terminal was right across from him in the main chamber, hidden under the water. It was easy to access. He just had to use magnesis to turn the cogs on the wall and raise the terminal above the water. He tapped the slate against it, and the previously dead terminal glowed blue. It was easy. Too easy. Link doubted the others would be so simple, especially not if this Waterblight was stalking the halls. "Come," Mipha whispered and floated away, across the room to the next open door. It led back outside, to another walkway that led upwards. "Careful," Mipha warned. "There's a malice eye up ahead. Don't let it spot you, or Waterblight will know where you are." Puddles of malice littered the walkway and clung to the walls in patches. Hardened spikes of it stuck out of some puddles, easily twice Link's height. Up ahead, towards the top of the walkway, a glowing orange eye coated in malice hung from the ceiling. It blinked too slowly, awkwardly. Even from a distance, Link could hear the disgusting squelching noise it made when it blinked. It twitched and its pupil jerked around, looking left and right, up and down. The malice smelled of sulfur and something dark, something worse than decay. It turned Link's stomach and made his nose burn. One arrow was all it took to kill the malice eye. Some patches of malice disappeared with it, but most of the malice remained. Still, at least the path was clear. Link followed Mipha up the walkway. They moved slowly, cautiously. Mipha insisted on going ahead again, peeking around the doorway, examining the room carefully before she'd let Link inside. It felt familiar. Was this what it was like before? going carefully, watching each other's backs, working as a team. Mipha turned to him and gestured for him to come forward. She was still just an outline, a shining blur, but Link liked to imagine she was smiling. As they approached the walkway leading to Ruta's trunk, Link could hear hissing. Mipha stopped abruptly, and Link stopped with her, waiting. A shape slowly floated past the open doorway. It was massive and wrong, a skeletal shape, an unholy mix of malice and chic-attack. It had one glowing blue eye, carried a giant guardian spear, and had a mop of oddly human-looking hair, red as blood. It hissed and growled, tightly gripping its spear. Hunting, looking for the intruder. For Link. Waterblight Ganon. Snarling, Link stepped forward, but Mipha's ghostly hand darted out and tugged on his sleeve. She couldn't pull him back, not really, but even that gentle touch was enough to pin Link in place. "No," Mipha whispered. "Do not let anger cloud your judgment. You must proceed carefully." Link wanted that thing dead. He wanted to kill it, resurrect it, and kill it all over again. He'd claw it to pieces with his bare hands if he had to. Blow it up with bomb arrows, set it ablaze with bio arrows, skewer it with its own damn spear. He wanted it dead. It disappeared from view. The hissing got fainter. Link stayed tense in Mipha's grip, trembling with sheer rage. One hand gripped the hilt of his sword, ready to unsheath it and run after that beast. His heart was pounding, his chest hurt. He wanted to scream and never stop. "Not yet," Mipha said. "Not yet." There was one thing they hadn't truly considered. When Ruta's trunk began to move, it was a signal to Waterblight. It let that thing know where to go. Link activated the terminal and heard Waterblight roar. "Hurry!" Mipha cried, her voice echoing in his ears. She could not follow him outside, yet he heard her loud and clear. "Only one left!" Link paraglided to Ruta's head, adjusting her trunk again and activating her water flow. Water poured through the trap door in her head, dousing the fire in the room below. Waterblight roared again, and when Link turned around, he saw it. It hovered above Ruta's trunk, head tilted back as it roared. Its head snapped towards him, its one eye blazed. It saw him, and that eye was filled with animalistic rage. "Run!" Mipha screamed. Link dropped into the trapdoor just as the Waterblight flew at him. The trapdoor closed behind him, and Waterblight shrieked. There was a horrible clanging sound, like it was beating its spear against Ruta's head. "Quick, Link, the terminal!" Link ran down the narrow stairs to the last terminal. Waterblight continued to rage above him. The terminal activated and the map changed. One more glowing point appeared, larger than the others. It was the control room. He'd have to run for it. Link unsheathed his sword and ran, Mipha reappearing and following at his heels. Waterblight's roaring and shrieking got louder as it followed them. It soared through a window, nearly crashing into the opposite wall as it rushed after Link. "Shit," Link hissed as he ran. A block of ice flew at him, and he barely dodged, jumping around the corner and leaping from the walkway down into the main chamber. Demented with rage, the Waterblight lunged forward, throwing its spear. "Link!" Mipha shrieked. She jumped in front of him. Only, of course, the spear passed right through her. Link summoned ice of his own, and the spear crashed into it. The ice cracked, and the tip of the spear stopped mere inches from Link's chest. It bought him seconds, but it was enough. He turned and ran for the main control unit. The shape reminded him, oddly enough, of Kotera's flower bud. It shone bright orange and emitted a strange humming noise, almost like it was urging Link to go faster. Just before he reached it, malice poured out of it in waves, shooting up to the ceiling, mixed with strands of bright blue lights. Waterblight formed from the malice, hovering above Link, hissing and snarling again. It stared him down, spear aimed at him. "I'm going to kill you," Link told it. "Be careful," Mipha pleaded. "I fought as hard as I could, but it's fast and more clever than you think. Don't get too close." Link knocked a shock arrow, aiming for Waterblight's eye. I won't, he promised, and fired. Mipha was right. Waterblight was fast. It disappeared and reappeared in swirling lines of blue light, darting across the control room. It slashed its spear in a wide arc, forcing Link to jump further and further away. But Link had his arrows. Water, shock arrows. Perfect mix. All the while, Mipha urged him on, pointing out safe distances and calling for him to dodge, to block, to attack. Even when Waterblight fell to the floor in a hissing heap, Mipha said, "Don't get close!" Link hesitated, and Mipha repeated herself more firmly. Good thing she did too, because Waterblight rose back into the air and screamed. It screamed so loudly that Link clapped his hands over his ears. The very room seemed to shake. The water coating the floor rose and slowly began to turn to ice. "Get out!" Mipha cried. "Quick, get out of the water!" Only the platform holding up the control unit was still above the water. Link swam as fast as he could. The Waterblight let out a noise that might have been laughter. The entire pool of water froze, just as Link crawled onto the platform. An entire room, and Link was stuck on this small platform. No way he could run around on ice, and Waterblight knew it. Unless he wanted to fall and make himself an even easier target, he was stuck here. Or maybe not. Link rose the Sheikah slate. The Waterblight shook and jerked about like a puppet with tangled strings. The entire floor of ice glowed on the slate screen. "Hey, asshole!" Link shouted. Waterblight hissed, jerking its hideous head towards him. Link raised the slate, smiling. "Nice try," he said, and activated the Cryonis rune. The ice shattered and, with another click, the water lowered back to its usual ankle-high depths. For a moment, Waterblight actually seemed stunned. Link's smile widened and he took aim with a bomb arrow. Next to him, Mipha let out an incredulous laugh. "I'm in charge here," Link told the beast, "and you're going to pay." The bomb arrow hit Waterblight right in the eye and it staggered back, shrieking. It batted at its face, trying to extinguish the flames. Its spear clattered to the ground. 2 quick bomb arrows shattered the spear. A succession of shock arrows caused Waterblight to fall to the ground, twitching uncontrollably, letting out unholy, inhuman shrieks. Link ran forward, sword raised, and stabbed Waterblight right through the eye. He aimed upwards, and the blade stabbed out of Waterblight's head, coated in malice and sticking out of its scalp. The screams grew louder, more frantic. It swiped at Link, and he backflipped away. It clawed blindly at the air, and Link parried. His hand glowed. Time slowed. "Now, Link!" Mipha screamed. "Now!" Zelda cried. In one swift move, Link lunged forward, easily dodging Waterblight's slowed-down claws, and beheaded it with a single strike. The screams abruptly stopped. Waterblight's head began to dissolve before it even reached the floor. Its body shuddered and fell apart. Bursts of red light shot out of its torso and arms. The body pooled to the floor. The puddle of malice turned into bright, blood-red light and vanished. Slowly but surely, the air cleared. The smell of sulfur vanished, and Link knew the malice littered throughout Ruta was disappearing. When he turned around, Mipha smiled. She floated in front of the control unit, no longer an outline, but a true spirit. Blue flames danced around her feet, but her smile was loving. Her golden eyes were kind even through the haze of blue light around her. "Mipha!" Link's voice was a choked gasp. Mipha held her arms out to him, almost shyly, and Link didn't hesitate to run to her, splashing through the water and running right into her embrace. It was an odd hug. It wasn't warm, but it wasn't cold. It almost tingled. Mipha, floating as she was taller than him and rested her cheek atop his head. "Oh, my love," she whispered. "My light, I knew you could do it." Even when Ruta glowed blue once more, even as she was freed, neither of them moved from the control room. As soon as the control unit was activated, Mipha hugged him again. It didn't matter how tightly they held each other. The pressure didn't change. Her claws didn't dig into him, her bracelet, A thin band of silver, studded with tiny sapphires, didn't glint in the light. None of her jewelry did. But Link would take it. He'd take anything he could get. He couldn't imagine letting go. I love you, he said, because if he knew anything, he knew this. He loved Mipha. Loved her with all his heart. He was sure he always would. I love you too, Mipha said. And I truly must thank you, Link. Ruta is freed from Ganon's control. And I am allowed by this freedom to be with you once again. She pulled back, her hand still on his shoulders, and looked him over with a smile. You're alive, she said in wonder. You must tell me everything that's happened. So he did. He told her about the Shrine of Resurrection, the Great Plateau, the shrines and towers, and Rome's ghost. He told her about Kakariko, Impa, Paya, and Kotera. He told her about Beetle. He told her about Fort Hateno, Hateno Village, Pura, and Simon. He told her all about Sidon and Dorephan. Mipha rested her forehead against his with a gentle sigh, shutting her eyes. Tell them I love them, she said. I love them with all my heart. I will, Link promised. Of course he would. It would be the first thing he told them. And there is something I must give you. Mipha stepped back completely, and Link's arms ached at the loss of her. My healing power is wasted on me as a spirit, Mipha said. I no longer need it. Therefore, I would like you to have it. Her eyes blazed with that familiar determination. I want you to be safe. She placed her hands over her heart, and a glow appeared. White at first, then changing to vivid blue. Mipha. Please accept Mipha's grace, she said, and pushed her hands out. The glow shot towards Link and into his chest. A cool sensation washed over him from head to toe. Something soothing and familiar. Water swirled around his legs, and he was gently lifted into the air as his entire body began to glow. All the injuries he'd earned fighting Waterblight, all those cuts and bruises, all those aches and pains vanished. Link lowered gently back to the ground. Mipha's smile widened. Promise me you will call upon my power whenever you need, she said. Knowing you are safe will allow me to rest easy. I promise, Link said quietly. He felt dazed. She just transferred her magic to him. He didn't have any idea how to use magic. But he'd promised her, so he'd have to figure it out. Now then, Mipha approached the control unit. Let's find a good position for Ruta, shall we, my love? Ruta bellowed, as if in agreement. All the doors and windows slid shut. The room was illuminated in a dim blue glow. What's going on? Link asked. We're traveling underwater, Mipha explained, like it was an everyday occurrence. It must have been before. I believe the lake in the Zodoban Highlands will give a perfect view of Hyrule Castle. Link could only let out a huff of laughter and shrug. I'll take your word for it, love, he said, and her eyes brightened, shining like stars. The sun was setting. Link and Mipha sat together on Ruta's head, watching Ruta's laser soar across the landscape, hitting Hyrule Castle dead on. Do you think Ganon knows? Link asked her. Surely he can see the laser. I have no idea, Mipha admitted. Whatever Zelda's doing in there, Ganon's stuck. I don't know what he can see or hear. I just know he's angry, but he always is. At least that meant a horde of monsters wouldn't be descending on the domain anytime soon. He'll know eventually, Mipha warned. Sooner or later, he will realize you are alive. When he does, he will stop at nothing to kill you, Link. I'll be okay, Link said. He waved his fingers at her, gently teasing. I have your grace now, right? Mipha smiled gently. Her hands caressed his cheek. You will always have me. The rain had stopped. Ruta was free. Mipha was free. Ganon was already under attack, and there was a chance he didn't even know it. The sunset was beautiful, and Link didn't want to leave Mipha's side. So, you gave me my locket, he said. I did, Mipha said with a mischievous smile. Did I give you anything? She raised her arm, showing him her bracelet. This, she said, shortly after I gave you the locket. You said I deserved a gift as beautiful as I was. Link grinned. I did not. Oh, you did. You could be quite charming. She leaned against him, her head on his shoulder. Link took her hand, his thumb rubbing over her knuckles. What now? Mipha asked quietly. Link looked at the sun, getting lower and lower on the horizon. The stars were starting to come out. Maybe we can just spend some time together, he said. Her giggle was shaky, bordering on a cry. I'd like that, she said. I'd like that more than anything. When the moon was high in the sky, Mipha sighed. I know we are too old for curfews, she said, but I think it's time for you to go home, love. No, Link said immediately. Yes. She held his gaze, just as tearful as his own. We both have duties to fulfill. You must free the others and save Zelda, and I must prepare Ruta. We will annihilate Ganon together. She rose, floating a few inches off the ground. Link got to his feet, looking up at her. I can't leave you again, he said, voice breaking. I am always with you, Mipha said, her voice shaking. I will be with you every step of the way. You are never alone. Link's hands moved as if they had a will of their own, wrapping around Mipha's. Their foreheads pressed together, and both of them were swiftly becoming tearful messes. Loving you, and receiving your love in return, was the greatest honor of my life, Mipha said, and I want you to promise me something. Anything, Link said. I want you to live, not just survive, but live. Live a long and happy life. Find whatever makes you happy and cling to it with all your might. I will. His voice sounded too weak, so he cleared his throat and repeated himself. I will. And I'll be back, Link promised, fierce and desperate. I love you. I swear I'll be back. I'm not leaving you here alone. I have faith in you, Mipha said. I always have, and I always will. Link kissed her. Had they both been flesh and blood, it would have been deep and desperate. As it stood, when Mipha kissed back, it was the barest brush of air against his lips. All the same, it was beautiful. She felt like home. It took all of Link's strength to pull away. I'll be back, he promised again. Mipha held his face in her hands, seemingly drinking him in. She did not break his gaze. Then I will see you soon, she said. Link summoned his paraglider. On shaking legs, he approached the edge of Ruta's head. He looked back. Mipha floated behind him, hands gently clasped and smiling bravely, even as she cried. Even as they both did. With a choked sob, Link flew away. Mipha did not look away. She watched as Link flew back towards Zora's domain, towards home. I love you, she said again, though he could no longer hear her. She watched until she couldn't see him anymore. Then she gazed at the palace. Father, Sidon. I hope you're not too worried, she murmured. Did they hope Link would return with her, or did they understand the truth? I wish I could see you again, even just once more. She steeled herself and faced Hyrule Castle. Zelda, she called, wondering if her friend could possibly hear her. We will do this. We will save Hyrule and you. You will be free soon, my friend. Ruta rumbled below her, as if in agreement. Mipha could feel Ruta's relief at being freed, her friend's fierce pride in her abilities, her ancient determination to protect the world. My dear friend, Mipha said, wiping her eyes, we have been through so much together, haven't we? Soon your duty, and mine, will be fulfilled. And then what? What awaited her? Perhaps she would see her mother again, the champions, Irma, Roland, and Errol. This is our last chance, Mipha said, partly to Ruta, but mostly to herself, and everyone's last hope. She held her head high, like the princess she was, and kept her gaze locked on her enemy. "Calamity Ganon," she said, "you will never hurt my family again." Link landed on the Great Zora Bridge and immediately fell to his knees, any semblance of strength he had fleeing him. "Prince Link!" a guard shouted, a brown-scaled Zora, the same one who'd been guarding the bridge when he arrived yesterday. "Dunma, fetch Prince Sidon." The purple Zora ran, calling for aid. The brown Zora rushed to Link's side, crashing to his knees and all but throwing his spear aside. "Prince Link, Link, where are you hurt?" He sounded so frantic. But Link wasn't hurt, thanks to Mipha. Thanks to her grace. Not physically, at least. It was too much, all of it. I had to leave her again, he thought, sickened. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Mipha didn't deserve this. She deserved to come home. Zora lived for centuries. Link was meant to die first, yet here he was, clawing his way out of the grave while Mipha remained a spirit in Ruta. Free of Ganon's control, but still dead. Link doubled over, sobbing against his knees. The guard sounded more terrified than ever, asking again if Link was injured, where he was hurt, what was wrong. What a joke. Clearly everything was wrong. Sidon arrived, pulling Link into his arms. He didn't ask what happened, merely let Link sob against his chest. "Keep everyone back," he ordered gently, sternly. "Keep them away." While the two guards worked to keep the growing, worried crowd at bay, Link and Sidon stayed kneeling on the bridge. "Link?" Sidon asked, plainly worried out of his mind. "Link, where are you hurt? I need you to tell me." "Everywhere. Nowhere." "She loves you," Link said, choking on his sobs. "She wanted me to tell you. Mipha. She loves you with all her heart." Thanks so much to anybody who listens to this. As always, there's a link in the description for the original fic on AO3. If you like this, please leave kudos and comments for the original author over there. I will return with chapter 15 whenever I get that done.